Hello everyone and welcome to this early access look at the Throne of Britannia. So today guys, we're actually going to be fighting a live battle using the Viking Sea Kings, and we're going to be taking it to the armies of Mide. So as you guys can see, we are indeed living up to our namesake. Out here we do have a fairly sizable naval contingent. So one of the things that I thought would be relatively interesting about doing a live battle is that you guys could see the UI and some of the battle interactions, pathing, and all that kind of good stuff. So if you look over here, you can see you actually have two tabs. So when you are fighting a coastal port assault, which is what this is, so that's one of the best things about Throne of Britannia, in my opinion. The siege battles, the port assaults, all that stuff is definitely quite a bit of fun. You can do these big port assaults, which are, I think they're called Fortified port assaults. So this one is actually going to be unfortified. So you can see it's a relatively standard city here. No walls or defensive fortifications or anything like that. So basically I have relative impunity here. I can come over and just land on the coast and push in. But there are actually fortified port assaults where you can have like a naval force coming in the backside of the city and coming from the ocean. And you can then have a force coming from land. So this is definitely a little bit easier than the port assaults, but I thought it would be fun and quick and a good way to kind of just show you guys the basics of these port style assaults. So as far as the UI goes, you can see there's two tabs. So we have one for land assault here. So this is going to take you to our forces that are on ground, and then you can go to the ships over here. So pretty similar to Total War Warhammer in terms of grouping and everything. You just select the forces you want, you can group them, but when you want to group them, you actually go, and let me go ahead and get group one here. So this is my main army. You go here to the group controls, and then you can just click, you can do it by, via button as well, just a hotkey, but we're going to go ahead and lock that formation so they march in that same formation. Group 2, we have our cav over here, which are the Eastman mailed horsemen. So I'm still getting used to all of this, and my apologies in regards to like naming, and I'm probably going to mispronounce a ton of things during this cast, so just bear with me there. My only real reference for this time period is actually probably the Vikings TV show. So yeah, you can see here you can tab between your naval forces and your land forces, and again you can hotkey. So I'm hitting 1 to get my main group, 2 to get my horsemen back here to get my other one, and if I hit group 4, it actually takes me to my naval forces. So you can see these are Eastman Axe Warriors. So these are kind of like the middle tier axe infantry for the Viking Sea Kings here, whereas on the land here you can see I have my elites. So I went with a very elite force. You can go very, very wide in this game with a ton of cheap infantry, but I figured it would be very thematic and fun to just get these Eastman Huscarls, who are just such world beaters. I mean, melee damage of 65 when you compare that to like lower tier troops of 32, so these guys hit like trucks. They don't have shields though, so if the enemies have like heavy cav charging into them and like cycle charging and javelins and missile fire, they have some armor, but they're still going to take quite a bit of damage. So my enemy, the forces of Mide, are going to be taking up in the city here. And just a disclaimer, it's still early access, and we don't have the opportunity to fight other YouTubers yet. So it's going to be against AI, who obviously isn't going to be making the best tactical decisions. But regardless, hopefully you guys still enjoy the experience, get to see the UI and controls and all that kind of good stuff. Because I saw in the last early access release, which unfortunately I wasn't able to get any content out because I was out of town, but a lot of things that, I was seeing, one sec here, let me make sure my boats are, for 1 second, I thought they actually disappeared, but yeah, I saw a lot of like playthroughs that were post-game cast, but I want you guys to get a feel for the UI, and hopefully that'll be something that's fun. All right, so without further ado, guys, enough rambling, let's get this show on the road. So you can see the enemy forces have taken up in the city, and now they're going to appear. So we're going to advance, press very aggressively. We could arguably wait for our sea force, but you know what, they can come and join the party late, so the boats are going to push forward here relatively quick, and the speed is 45, so okay, so can you actually see the speed on infantry? I don't know if you can. It doesn't look like it. Okay, so we're going to move forward here, and there are some formation tooltips. If you see here, there's a ton of options for formations, which I actually like quite a bit. I think it'll be pretty fun. And as far as like multiplayer goes, I think Total War Warhammer is going to be the more rich multiplayer experience. But for campaigns, this game is great. And also on top, not to say the multiplayer is bad here, but just my personal preference. And on top of that, I think something else that's going to be really cool in Throne of Britannia is doing these very thematic battles. So if you want to get some of your friends and have like a big port invasion on a city and have like one person playing this massive naval force coming in a bit of a delayed push, and then getting, one person with the more traditional frontline push, that stuff's going to be really cool. And the siege battles are definitely going to bring a lot to the table. So as far as my troops go, I got my Huscarls, I got my Eastman mailed axemen, I have some Eastman hunters, which are the second tier of bow infantry that are available to my army here. My Royal Huscarls, which are my general unit, definitely very powerful, highest armor values. Got some spears in the back to protect against cav and all that kind of fun stuff. We're getting pretty close to the city, so the AI is just kind of hanging out right now, so we're going to take this time to get our cav around and see if we can find any goodies. But they have a pretty dense little formation, so we might want to wait for these guys to get here, but what angle do we want to take? I think we'll go down to the far beach here and just try and push in and collapse on this formation. All right, so we're pretty close right now. You can see that the Kern Axemen are kind of awaiting, so we're going to just keep pushing our forces over and see if we can start getting some arrow fire into the city. And the cav, we can actually get them positioned behind. It looks like the AI has kind of fortified this part. They do have some cav of their own here, but let's go ahead and explore the city a little bit. So you can see they're riding through the streets and riding past the hay. Hopefully the horses aren't tempted. But yeah, boats are getting there. They're sailing a pretty tight formation. So let's actually land 2 of them here. and see, yeah, this might actually be just the quicker angle, and then these guys can go here. You can get you guys over here and you guys over there. Great. So yeah, we're giving the AI a bit of advantage with this, deployment here, but our archers are now in position, so they can start firing here in just a moment. So what do we got from our opponent? Let's keep pushing forward. Looks like he has sent out some forces, so we're going to go ahead and just grab some spearmen. These are axemen, so they're pretty strong. Let's get our Huskarls, pull these guys back, get our cav over the top. So we don't want our spearmen fighting those axemen. Axemen are just going to make quick work of them. So the computer sent out and some in Vanguard, and you guys are going to see yeah, they're taking arrow fire. They're going to get punished so hard right here. Cav are going to charge in as well, and it looks like we've discovered some hidden foes, and yeah, the AI is now selling out to meet our charge. So here comes the cav charge from the back here. Oh, it looks like did I accidentally drop the order there at the end? I think I did. So we're going to pull back here and do another charge. I think I accidentally hit a button on my keyboard, which canceled that. So my apologies, guys, just ruining that very exciting charge. But regardless, we're getting in there. The axe infantry have now started to fight, and our coastal forces are going to be landing. So these guys can go ahead, push forward and fight here. And let's get some of our auxiliary archers. They can go ahead and focus down this group and this group. And we can get these guys here, and these cav can go ahead and just clean up shop on those axe infantry. So we're able to break them, and if we go over to group 4, you can now see when they disembark, they actually jump off. One of my favorite things, actually, seeing that. So darn cool looking. And when they do jump off, they actually switch back to, they go to your land reserve. So you can see they're now appearing on my land tooltip, so you don't really have to worry about tabbing back and forth to the naval stuff. So the horse is coming in to help clean those guys up. Let's go ahead and fall back, because my opponent has his own cav coming in. So we're going to get the spears over here to try and intercept them. Hopefully that'll go well. Some fighting has broken out in the main line here. So let's get our Huskarls pushing forward here. These guys can go here as well, and these cav can go in the streets. So once all of our forces here are landed, we're going to go ahead and just start moving them up into the city here. And let's go ahead and see how the frontline fighting's going. So we have some of our Eastmen mailed axes, which are pretty strong. He sent some swordsmen forward, but they're probably not going to be up to snuff. The infantry for the Viking Sea Kings are definitely very powerful. I think some of the other factions might have like better missiles and things like that. Now that the Huskarls are in there, they're just going to take these guys to town. So my opponent keeping a lot of troops in reserve, so I'm probably going to start moving some of these guys up. So let's go ahead and get the archers, and did not want to do that, so I accidentally paused the game because I'm a noob. So we're going to get our archers over there and get them a pretty good little firing line right there. We're good here, and let's also get these axemen pushing up there as well. So all of our forces are pushing forward right now. We do have our forces landing on the coast here, so we can get those guys going. And as soon as they land, what happens is the boats just kind of they sail off into the great seas, and just they depart into the west, I suppose. Off to the west we go. All right, so we have some spearmen here. We'll send them into these swordsmen. Let's get these cav units back here, and group 2. And these guys are kind of just hanging out. Could get some charging, but I want to wait and see what my opponent's going to do. We'll just kind of hide around the corner and wait for our reserves to get in. So we'll get you guys coming here, you guys in the back of the city here. And yeah, the frontline fighting is going pretty well. Some of my archers actually got attacked by cav, so I was not paying attention to this, even though I had some cav sitting right there. So just quite a noob by him. My general was able to help fight those guys off, but still, he did a lot of damage where it didn't need to happen. So, all right, let's go ahead and reform ranks. It looks like most of the enemy forces have just been cut asunder. So just a one-sided massacre right there. Those infantry of mine are definitely very, very powerful. So great. We're going to form up here. We have, I think one of our archers did rout, but we're going to go ahead and start shooting into the warbands right here. And these guys can just shoot into the other advancing archers. And the cav, we're just going to kind of, play that patient game. So these guys can go ahead and engage with the swordsmen. Let's get you guys right here, you guys right here. And yeah, archers are fighting, and the back line is secure. So my cav should be able to polish these guys off. They were obviously full health, and the mailed cav are definitely much stronger than what he brought here. So these archers are actually back online, which is good. So yeah, the fighting's underway. Let's go ahead and make sure to charge. I think we did miss a charge there, but it's okay. These guys can charge here as well on those swordsmen. And the spears, we're just going to kind of keep an auxiliary and just be patient with them. And the archers here, can we shoot in at his archers? Yes, we can. We might be able to sneak in, and he actually has some routing units here, which is good. So now we can use our guys like vultures to kind of pick them off. Let's get the fighting going here, and the fighting going here. Yeah, okay, so we got a little mano-a-mano action going on. So our troops charge in there. You can see these guys coming with the downhill charge. They're going to be meeting the spear wall. So hopefully it'll favor my troops. I think these are like low-tier kind of flank protection type units. Great. So my cav here, we're able to chase those guys off, which is good. Our archers are in position. We're just going to keep shooting into his archers. I think, yeah, what are those guys? Those are actually levy skirmishmen. So let's see if we can pin those guys. Our horses are continuing to chase down these routing units, which is good. Going to keep them from coming back. Our general took a lot of damage, so we're going to kind of try and keep him relatively safe. My opponent pushing through with some of these swordsmen here, so we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a hammer on those guys. And let's get all of our archers together, and so we can, protect them a little bit easier. We'll get our spearmen who aren't fighting, get them protecting here, and this other group of spearmen can come back there as well. So these horsemen, we're just going to kind of keep them in reserves for now. We're getting some good kills here, but we don't want to be fighting those warbands right there. So we have our other troops that can go ahead and move through the city here, and it looks like this battle's going okay. Looks like we're able to kind of take those guys out who are actually shattered. So there are some spears here, but let's actually just ignore them and move up into the city here. Get these guys pathing here. We'll get one guy going to fight you guys. And yeah, our other troops can just kind of push through the back. So our archers are back online. Let's get them pushing forward to get a bit of a better angle here. Looks like our Huskarls are just massacring. You can see the Viking Sea Kings here. Definitely pretty hyped to be here. And our Lord took some damage from the cav charge of our opponent, but he should be A-okay. Great, so we have our spears in the back. Let's move them up with our archers. Again, just like Total War, you always want to be protecting your goodies here. Looks like he might overwhelm us. His warbands are, you know, taking our Eastmen, mailed axemen down. We get some cinematic shots, because I feel like we probably have this battle. Our standard bearer just got like kicked in the face here. But yeah, pretty pitch fight. I don't know what the situation with like blood is upon launch and everything, but I'm pretty sure it'll be added, or at least be some sort of a inclusion. So now we got some street fighting. So you can see that the defenders, the Kerns, I think these are a skirmisher or some sort of a javelin unit. So my guys got their shields up. And I believe I could do like a defensive, you know, Tetsudo tile formation. I'm not sure if they have that. So yeah, they do have the shield. Let's check this out. So let's see what this looks like. I'm not sure if this is going to be optimal or anything, but let's see what this looks like. Okay, so yeah, I think they just kind of like do something. Oh, it takes time to assemble. Okay, so there's like a timer. So it takes like a, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. So check that out. They're going in and, oh yeah, now they're moving forward. I like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and push up the street and see if we can kind of collapse on our opponent's forces. And we've got a pretty good pincer. Our naval forces doing a very good job against some of these troops here. So you can see that the wood spears and, you know, all those guys are having some problems. So let's push our elite troops up. We can have one assist against that warband right there. Our cav, we can go ahead and get a massive cav collapse right there on those Freeman archers. And yeah, archers, let's go ahead and scoot them up. They've used a lot of their ammunition, pretty healthy in that respect. And this archer group can go ahead and start firing into that big blob. So our axemen have come from the sea, and you can see the defenders trying to hold their city, but I don't think they're going to be able to. We have a numbers advantage, and I think our troop quality is a little bit better. And obviously, we are facing off against the AI, but as soon as I do get access to playing against other players, I'll make sure to do some really fun multiplayer scenarios. And yeah, you can see my troops actually lighting the buildings on fire as they come through, and oh, Dad is here. Here they come. The Huskarls are getting a rear charge on this warband, and they are just going to pin them in, and these guys are going to get cut to pieces. Oh, look at that guy. He got wrecked, and down he goes. And yes, the defenders, the Mide forces, are going to be collapsing here pretty quick. You can see they're approaching army losses as the Viking Sea Kings successfully plunder the city. So our cav were able to just rout his archers and skirmishers over here. So we'll just go ahead and make sure to chase those guys down. Let's actually get a look at some of these cav coming in. So yeah, not fun for the defenders. Definitely getting rode down by some of my elites. My archers have moved up as well, providing some pretty good overwatch into the city. And I really like the settlement battles in this. It's quite fun, and you know, facing off against like, yeah, oh my gosh, that was just a grinder right there. Those Huskarls just put those guys down. So there are some scattered remnants of my opponent's forces here. Most of them are shattered. I think there's still a fight going on over here. So yeah, these looks to be their wood spears fighting against my axe warriors. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for now. My opponent does have some forces over here. Some of these guys, it looks like some foreign warriors, and yeah, so those are like mercenary warriors. And my spear band obviously not going to have a good time here. But the rest of our forces are going to be going in, and let's actually get our archers and take them off and just kind of send them there just so we don't get like too much friendly fire. But from here, let's see, these guys are probably pretty close to shattering. So very different than Total War. It seems like, you know, in Total War, if you were at this point in the army losses, you would just be completely shattered. And we took about 800 casualties compared to their, yeah, quite a bit. Well, quite a bit more. Our Axemen infantry are taking these guys out. Stat comparison, 2632, and their armor is 15. We have 30 armor and just better combat stats, better charge bonus. Our morale is obviously quite a bit higher as well. But pretty good stats for just like a, you know, what I would perceive as a relatively low tier spear infantry. So our horsemen are getting in here. These guys are actually confident, believe it or not. So let's get our cav and see if we can do a little something, get a rear charge going. We'll get these guys going. Let's get these guys around the back. And I like the idea of like having a siege battle, like a port. And maybe for one of the next videos I do. So for this cycle, this will be the one that I'm going to be putting up. But, you know, doing a big armored port battle with like a bunch of YouTubers, I think that'd be quite a bit of fun. Get the Viking Sea Kings and like Northumber and a couple of the other factions here. So these guys are flanking around the back. We're going to get in there. And this is going to be the last bastion of the defenders here. And it looks like they are done for. Oh, look, are they just all hanging their heads down in like shame as they retreat? Oh, look at that. I love how when they're shattered and like beleaguered, they're like their posture changes. And I noticed that when I had some idle troops standing before that, they were like breathing heavily like the characters were. So you can see the rallying war cries of my troops as they raise their axes out. The Huskarls are successful in raiding the city. So well played to my AI opponent. He put up quite a fight. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. So if you guys enjoyed this, let me know your thoughts and your feedback and all that kind of stuff. And when this game does come out, I know my channel has a very heavy focus on multiplayer, and you know those are kind of the more important aspects of my channel. But what would you guys like to see in regards to my coverage of Thrones of Britannia? Would you like to see like thematic multiplayer battles with other YouTubers and other, people in the community? Would you like to see just traditional quick battles and that kind of stuff? Let me know. I think some of the best things will be the big kind of siege battles that we have. I think that would be really fun, and I think that's one of the really standout features. When you really kind of feel the gravity of sieges compared to like Total War Warhammer, in my opinion. So yeah, big thanks to Creative Assembly for giving me early access. Thank you guys for watching and joining, and guys, we will see you all next time. Take care.